how long you keep a car determines, in our opinion, whether or not you should lease. But
Chase's point, we'll get to the same point after 15 or 20 minutes that it takes hours in the traditional method to get to. And that's if you only deal with one place of business.
Hey, welcome into Inside the Lease. We're talking about D&M Auto Leasing, and of course, the power of leasing a vehicle as opposed to buying, the advantages of it as well. Kelly Strausser's alongside. Kelly, I thought today we kind of get into high-income folks and whether or not they should or do lease vehicles. And for the expert, when it comes to high-income folks, we turn to Chase, right?
Absolutely.
You know,
SMU grad.
oh, here we go.
Charming, got the good hair to go along with the deal, the whole thing.
I've heard over the years, rich folks don't lease vehicles, and then I hear rich folks do lease vehicles. Do they? Should they? Are there advantages? I mean, what do you say?
So, I mean, we believe that it does. Whether you make a lot of money or a little bit of money, it doesn't really matter. We go back to how long you want to keep a car. It is why how long you keep a car determines, in our opinion, whether or not you should lease. But higher income people, I mean, there's a lot of things that go to that. Typically, they have shorter trade cycles.
They don't keep a car as long.
Don't keep it as long, right? So, and trading out more often. So you've got that aspect of it. The luxury type vehicles and more expensive cars, there's more risk at play there. You get an accident in a Honda Accord, you get an accident in a Escalade, there's a much bigger hit in value there. So there's a lot of liability benefits. I think the service part of it has a ton to do with that as well. They really enjoy having one person that knows you, knows your family, knows when you trade, can handle the entire transaction. Most people don't know. You actually have to come in here. I mean, I know you know because you're a customer, but don't have to show up. You do it all over the phone, DocuSign, and then we have a lot of tenure with our agents. So we know our agents know customers, know families, have multiple generations of them. And when you have someone that knows you, knows how you use your car, follows up proactively, so you've got that aspect of it. What would you think would be the most important, Kelly? Because it's really, all those are, we could get into the weeds on them. But
yeah, we sure could. I mean, actually, a lot of high-end manufacturers, they have a much higher leasing penetration than the mainstream brands. So a lot of high-income people do lease for sure. Chase mentioned the liability benefits. What we mean by that is the liability benefits of leasing are that when you're leasing a much more expensive vehicle like an Escalade, you get hail damage on the car, or somebody backs into it at the grocery parking lot. Like, customers will say, well, yeah, it wasn't an accident. Somebody's backed into me in the grocery store, but then it gets a record on the Carfax. And what that does is that tremendously affects the value of a higher end vehicle much more than a mainstream unit. And so high income people think about that, and they think about mitigating risk. And so that's certainly the liability benefits of leasing, those guarantees that we've talked about, a guaranteed residual, even if you have
touch
an
on that,
Escalade.
because not everyone knows what a residual is. I think it's
Sure, a residual is a guaranteed future value. It's something that we guarantee. So if you have that Escalade and you're worried about how it's going to hold its value, or you don't want to take on all the responsibility for the depreciation, and then you're in a parking lot and somebody backs into your vehicle, well, the vehicle itself takes a massive depreciation hit. Even after you go to the body shop and you get it fixed and it comes back to you, now it's a vehicle that's been in an accident, which is not worth what a vehicle that has not been in an accident is worth. And so when you are financing a vehicle in a long-term finance contract, you just took a massive hit financially. Because when you go to
trade value gets hammered.
when you trade it in or try to sell it, you're going to get significantly less because it's been an accident, right? That's common sense. With a lease, you can bring it back, drop off the keys, and walk away, and that residual is guaranteed. And so the higher end the vehicle, the more of a guaranteed protection you have at the end.
Speaking of protection, one thing we haven't talked about is the advantage of leasing as it relates to a warranty too, and then that comes into play on these higher end vehicles a lot as well, right? You mentioned maintenance,
Yeah.
and things of that nature.
Sure.
That helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. When you finance a vehicle for 84 months, I think well over 20% of vehicles are financed over 84 months today. Most manufacturer warranties don't cover that entire term. And so with leasing with typically shorter terms, you're under a manufacturer warranty or you're close and close enough to where you can extend it just a hair for not near, the amount of dollars of a, 7 or 8 year purchase.
I want to go back because you guys mentioned the service side of it,
Mm-hmm.
the concierge service, if you will. I mean, expand on that because you guys will literally deliver it to the door, right?
Well, our jingle is we make leasing easy.
I've heard that. I've
So
heard that.
yeah, I mean,
once.
most people don't enjoy the car buying
No.
experience, so they don't want to go in there. They don't want to spend a weekend or evenings, and because there's no car lot. You look out the window here, we don't have a bunch of new cars.
Haggling over a number,
Right.
pushing
So
paper back and forth.
we know, we can shop multiple brands. So you have one conversation with somebody. We get an idea on how you normally buy your cars, when you usually trade, what your plans are moving forward. If you have a trade-in, we'll appraise your trade. And then we go out and we start looking for what you want. So we have the contacts, 50 years in the business. We have great partnerships. We know what cars are available, where to find them. We know the right packages to put people on that give them the value that they're looking for. And then we'll go find them. And then we'll structure, and we can do side-by-side comparisons across multiple brands. Think about if you're going to go buy a running shoe. If you go into, and I'm not a runner, Kelly pretends to be a walker maybe, but if you go,
I used to be a runner. Now I'm
to,
up there
yeah.
in age, but I definitely walk.
But if you go to a Nike store, and do you really think that they're going to give you honest advice about Asics running shoe?
Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, so you're going to take what they're saying with a little bit of a grain of salt. But if you go to Luke's Locker or one of those running stores where they've got Nike and Asics and Reebok, I don't know, whatever all the other brands are, and they're all over there, you can come in there and ask for a Nike. Whenever I went, the one time I bought a pair of running shoes, they're like, hey, that's great. You want to get those shoes? Because I went in looking, there's a wall. I'm like, hey, I want to try those on. They're like, hey, how often do you run? Let me look at the shape of your foot. What surfaces do you run on? All these questions. And they're like, okay, great. And they went back and they brought out the running shoe that I asked for, but they said, before you put those on, I want you to put on this shoe. It's a different brand you didn't ask for, and here's specifically why I think this one is a good fit. Put them on, walked around, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then I put the Nike shoe on that I came for, and the other one just felt better. It fit my arch better, and then they explained how it'd be a better fit for me. So the concierge part, you can call in, and we'll go find exactly what you want, period. But there also might be other things you're not considering, and we ask questions, and we can serve up other alternatives that might fit better. And then down the road, in that same example, we'll bring the vehicle to their home or office. We sign paperwork electronically. People are like, that's it? I mean, that's what they're like, that's it? And
Typical reaction is that it? This is almost too good to be true. I can't believe this is all I had to do.
20-minute process.
It was that easy.
What does it take?
Well, we'll get to the same, to Chase's point, we'll get to the same point after 15 or 20 minutes that it takes hours in the traditional method to get to. And that's if you only deal with one place of business.
And you're doing it from
But
your
it's funny
home.
you mentioned that.
Yeah, you're doing it from your home.
You know I'm a runner, but you may not know this. Seriously, I run and walk, and I do go to the same place to get my shoes for the exact reason what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'll try to skip online and get them ordered, and then I'll wear them and realize like this doesn't work. And so I've realized by going to the same place and talking to an expert, getting my foot measured and getting the exact right shoe for me, I actually save more money because I don't end up buying 2 or 3 shoes that I don't like.
You leave in the closet.
And put them in the closet. I get something that actually works for me, and it's dealing with an expert, and that's really what we do for car
So
leasing.
he used a phrase one time that I laughed at the first time I heard it, but you guys say you're agnostic when it comes to vehicles, right? I mean, essentially that's what
Don't care.
Don't care.
Don't care at all. We want to set it up right.
Yeah.
And then, but people are surprised that after we deliver the car, in a luxury car example, we deliver it. People are expecting to never, sales guy sold me a car, never hear from him again. Yeah. That's where our relationship begins. We want to follow up, but we're up front. We try to do our due diligence to make sure that we know what your plans are moving forward, so we can follow up, make sure that nothing has changed. And then, you get to the end, and it's like, hey, that was great. We hire people that are like, man, I've got this book of business, and people keep coming back, and maybe the brand got stale. Sometimes they haven't changed body styles in a while, and there's better product out there on a different manufacturer line, and they're like, "Look, I don't want that anymore. Man, you're great, but I don't want another one of those cars." Awesome. What do you want? So they can keep the relationship with one person that knows them, knows their family, follows up on the back end, and then we're able to. My wife, she's between these two cars. We can set up here at the office a side-by-side test drive of both from two local dealer partners. They pick the one they want. Off she goes.
I bet you get both ends of the spectrum too. I bet you get folks who call and say, "I know exactly what I want. Here's what I'm
Absolutely.
looking for." And I bet you get others who go, "Not a car guy."
And we can do both,
Yeah.
But and you're right, we do have both ends of the spectrum. But when I meet people, when I'm out and I get introduced, and people inevitably say, "What do you do for a living? Where do you work?" And I tell them D&M. Many of them are customers, and the one thing that the two things that I hear from 99% of customers are really two things. The first thing, they want to tell you that it was so easy that they couldn't believe it. They talk about the experience, and they talk about just how easy it was. And the first time they did it, they really thought it was too good to be true. And they're asking the agent, like, "What else do I need to do? This can't be it." But they all just can't believe how easy it is, number one. And then number two, just about 95% of the people that I meet, they all have a personal story to tell me about their agent. That, that they were traveling, and the wife locked the keys in the car, and there was an issue in the meeting, and the agent, called the parts department at the Ford store and got the code to the car and got it unlocked remotely and did these things. They all have, or delivered a car for somebody's 16th birthday. They always have one specific story that they tell, and that's the relational side. Like Chase said, that our agents average over 10 years. And actually we looked at that a few years ago, maybe even more now, but our people are career people. And when you're going to do this as a career, the service aspect and the experience aspect becomes very important, because
It won't be a
goals,
career because you'll have
that's
upset
right.
customers that don't
We won't have a business, and their goals are aligned with ours. They want to do everything for the customer, so that customer has such an amazing experience that they come back to that person because they're going to be here.
I'm smiling and laughing because you guys know I've gone through the process, the leasing process, 5 or 6 times.
Yep.
With the same guy,
Oh yeah.
my man Jeff Corin.
Yeah.
And we meet at Potbelly every time, and we have the same.
Does he at least buy the sandwich?
No, I buy it. But no,
He can expense the sandwich,
right, exactly. But see, I mean, it literally, that's our tradition, And every time, every 3 years, we meet at Potbelly, we have lunch, and we get a deal done.
Yeah.
It's your story.
It's-
Have you got the same car every time?
story.
I get the same car, I get the same sandwich every time.
Yeah.
So it works.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of relationship you want to have, though.
That's right.
Well,
And I know that if it's something were to happen along the way, I can just pick up the phone and call Jeff.
The thing is, we wouldn't be anywhere without our customers.
Yeah.
Our people and our customers are D&M Leasing, and we look at that every day. We come to work with the intention of providing them amazing experiences and taking care of them, and that's why people like Jeff stay. Jeff's been at the company, I think, is he 30 years?
It's almost 35.
Yeah, 35.
He's like 70, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he's 70.
Not that old.
Yeah. I this is my 24th year, and I was walking this morning with my wife, and we were talking about just D&M came up, and it's nearly half my life.
Yeah.
I've been here at D&M.
Means something, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's relationships. We talk about that. Hey, thank you for joining us here, Kelly, Chase. I'm Brian. A little Inside the Lease. Hope we helped you. Find out more, by the way, at the website, DM Auto Leasing.